So, welcome back. This is the 27th segment of Making Sense for 7 Minutes, a summer-long series, Monday through Friday, where we are surveying in bite-sized pieces our historical narrative as given to us in the Bible. And, as always, asking that immeasurably relevant question, who cares? So what? Listen, when you look at the arrangement of the books in the Old Testament, you find that it's a bit like a puzzle. You've got 17 books which record the history of the Jewish people. And then you've got 5 books that are referred to as the poetic. Then there's another 17 that are prophecies. Now, these last 22 books all plug back into the first 17 at some point in the historical narrative. When you come to the New Testament, guess what? It does the same thing. We've got 27 books in the New Testament, and if you want an easy way to remember that, plus have something clever to say, a fun fact to know and tell at the next cocktail party when the conversation lags, did you know that there are 27 books in the New Testament? Yeah. Well, you've got 3 letters in the word new, and you've got 9 letters in the word testament. And you bring those together and multiply them, you get 27. You're welcome. Now, for those of you who have some passing knowledge about the New Testament, let me ask you, how many Gospels are there in the New Testament? 4? Did I hear somebody say 4? So I heard 4. I heard somebody holding up a hand. 4. You're wrong. No, there's one Gospel. The word gospel means good news. And there's only one chunk of this good news: Jesus. His life and work on our behalf for salvation. And it is this good news that the entire Bible revolves around, and it is this good news that is expounded upon in the New Testament. Now, we do have 4 complementary accounts of the gospel, these being the first 4 in the New Testament, and they are officially known as the gospel according to Matthew, the gospel according to Mark, Luke, John. Then after that, you've got the book of Acts right there, okay? You've got the book of Acts, which is officially known as the Acts of the Apostles. And it was written by Luke, who is the same Luke that wrote the gospel account that has his name on it. Incidentally, they are both written by Luke to a friend named Theophilus. And what you might want to do is consider reading those 2, one right after the other, to get a good overview of both the life and work of Jesus, as well as the life and work of the early church. So these 5 books give you the historical content. Then you have 21 letters, all of which plug back in at some point into the events of the book of Acts. The first 13 were written by Paul to both churches and individuals. Hebrews, nobody knows for sure its author. James is next. When you read the Gospels, you find James and John, two brothers who are apostles. This is not the same James. This is actually a half-brother of Jesus. Then you've got two letters by Peter. Then you've got three letters by John, the same John that wrote the Gospel according to John. Jude, then, the last letter, is another half-brother of Jesus. Now, in all my research, I have not found any evidence to indicate that this particular book in the New Testament had any influence whatsoever on the music of the Beatles. Then finally, following the letters, is the last book of the Bible, the book of Revelation. And please note that it is Revelation, not Revelations. It is a book of prophecy. And prophecy always serves two purposes. One is to foretell, speak to events that are to take place. And the other is to forthtell, speak to events that are taking place. And you'll find in the book of Revelation that it does both. The last book of the Bible, the book that put it all together, is the most realistic, down-to-earth, practical, well-rounded, wisest, no holds barred, life-giving, life-changing book ever. Trust me. Have I ever lied to you? Okay, but besides that once. Okay, thanks y'all.